Good evening, everyone. I would like to call to order the Town of Sydney inaugural meeting of Council for Monday, November 7th, 2022. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge and thank the Wasanich people on whose traditional territory we live. The Wasanich people have lived and worked on this land since time immemorial, and we acknowledge with respect that this inaugural meeting of Council occurs on the traditional land of the Wasanich peoples whose historical relationships with the land continue to this day. So I would now like to introduce the Honorable Judge Carmen Rogers to conduct the oath of office for Mayor and Council. Thank you.
evening, everyone. I am pleased to welcome and thank the Honorable Associate Chief Judge Carmen Rogers for attending and presiding over the swearing in of council members for our 2022 to 2026 council term. Thank you, Your Honor. I'm also pleased to welcome and acknowledge our Member of Parliament, Elizabeth May. Thank you, Elizabeth May, for your remarkable service on behalf of Sydney residents who are your constituents, but all constituents in the riding, and on behalf of our country. I'd also like to acknowledge former Mayor Norma Seeley here this evening. Welcome. I would like to acknowledge Staff Sergeant Wayne Conley, our Sydney North Saanich RCMP Detachment Commander, and Corporal Andy Sanchez for attending this evening. And thank you to Sydney Town Crier Kenny Podmore for participating this evening. Hello and welcome to the spouses and family of council members. I know I speak for my colleagues when I express sincere gratitude for the tremendous support we receive from our families as we work both a regular and a somewhat irregular schedule serving our community. And for those times we are out in the community doing personal things together and citizens approach us to share their views and ideas. People are very respectful and it's a lighthearted comment. Welcome to those in attendance from our local community organizations, both staff and volunteers. Council, on behalf of all citizens, expresses appreciation to our many community organizations and service clubs that enrich our lives through their diverse activities. Welcome also to those who serve on council's citizen appointees on various commissions and advisory committees and boards. We appreciate you volunteering your time and experience to serve on these bodies. And last but not least, welcome to members of the public in attendance, both here in our council chamber and to all who are watching the meeting via the live webcast. We appreciate you attending this evening, and after our meeting, which I estimate will be another 20-30 minutes, we are pleased to offer refreshments and we look forward to meeting you. I want to thank Mr. Humble for calling the meeting to order this evening and providing the territorial acknowledgement. I'll now turn to item 4, approval of the agenda, and I'll look to council for a motion, please.
So moved. Second.
We have it moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor? None opposed. The motion carries. Thank you, council. I'll now turn to item 5A, council member appointments to committees, commissions, and boards. In addition to council members attending regularly scheduled council and committee of the whole meetings throughout the year, and I'll digress for a moment to say that there are 6 meetings scheduled after tonight in November and December, and 42 meetings are scheduled in 2023. Our committee of the whole meetings occur on the 1st and 3rd Monday at 6 p.m. each month, and our council meetings occur on the 2nd and 4th Monday at 6 p.m. Meeting dates, of course, are posted on our website in advance, where we also post agendas, minutes, and webcast recordings. In addition to these regular meetings, each council member is appointed to serve on various committees, commissions, and boards. There are 29 such bodies with councillor appointments, and each of us on council also serve as an alternate or backup to the main council member appointment. I'll now read out the planned appointments and then seek a council motion to approve them. The first is our Advisory Planning Commission, and we appoint Councillor Rintoul for a 1-year term, and Councillor Duck will be the alternate. We're statutorily required to have an emergency planning committee, and we appoint Councillor Novick as for a 1-year term, and Councillor O'Keefe as alternate. We have a select committee, the Economic Advisory Committee, and we appoint Councillor Duck for a 1-year term, and Councillor Rintoul as the alternate. We have another standing committee which was formed earlier this year called the Saanich Peninsula Accessibility Advisory Committee. It is done jointly with Central Saanich and North Saanich, and we appoint Councillor O'Keefe to a 1-year term and Councillor Duncan as the alternate. Many are familiar with the Capital Regional District, a local government that provides services to the entire region and services on a sub-regional basis, which I'll touch on a bit later, and we have several appointments. The Capital Regional District has 3 boards. It has the Capital Regional District Board, the main board, the Capital Region Housing Corporation Board, and the Capital Regional Hospital District Board. I will be appointed as the representative from Sydney as director on the 24-member board, and Councillor Rintoul will be my alternate. From here on in, I'll refer to Capital Regional District as CRD, which many are familiar with. There's the CRD Regional Water Supply Commission, and we appoint Councillor Duncan for a 4-year term, and Councillor Duck as the alternate. We have the CRD Climate Action Intermunicipal Task Force, and we appoint Councillor Duck to a 4-year term and Councillor Duncan as the alternate. The CRD Regional Housing Trust Fund Commission, we appoint Councillor Novick to a 2-year term and Councillor O'Keefe as the alternate. The CRD Peninsula Recreation Commission is a sub-regional service with the 3 municipalities on the peninsula, and I will be appointed as the CRD representative to the commission, and Councillor Garnett will be the council member appointment to the commission. Councillor Wintoul will be my alternate, and Councillor Duck will be alternate to Councillor Garnett. We have two CRD commissions, the Saanich Peninsula Water Commission and the Saanich Peninsula Wastewater Commission. They meet on a monthly basis and with back-to-back meetings. I will be appointed as the CRD representative to those commissions, and Councillor Wintoul will be my alternate. Councillor Duncan will be appointed as our council representative to both commissions, and Councillor Duck will be the alternate. And we have the CRD Victoria Family Court and Youth Justice Committee, which the CRD supports. We appoint Councillor O'Keefe to a 2-year term and Councillor Duncan as the alternate. The Capital Region Emergency Services Telecommunications Organization, better known as CREST, is we will appoint Councillor Wintoul to a 4-year term and Councillor Novick as the alternate. The Vancouver Island Regional Library, which operates 39 branches on most of Vancouver Island and the Gulf Islands, and operates our Sydney North Saanich branch here in Sydney. We will appoint Councillor Novick as our trustee on the board of trustees for Viral, and Councillor Garnett is the alternate. We have the Greater Victoria Labour Relations Association, which provides human resource services and bargaining expertise to many municipalities. I will be appointed to that association and sit on that board, and Councillor Wintoul will be my alternate. The Victoria Airport Authority has an airport consultative committee when we appoint Councillor O'Keefe to a 1-year term and Councillor Wintoul as the alternate. The Victoria Airport Authority also has a noise management committee, and we appoint Councillor Duncan to a 1-year term and Councillor O'Keefe as the alternate. The South Island Prosperity Partnership, a region-wide economic development organization that has several municipalities in the region that participate with funding. They have an independent board and staff, but they also have a partners committee made up of elected representatives from each of the municipalities that participate, and we'll appoint Councillor Duck to a 1-year term and Councillor O'Keefe as the alternate. And we have the Municipal Insurance Association of British Columbia that has an annual general meeting. We appoint Councillor Wintoul to a 4-year term, and myself and Councillor Novick as possible alternates. We have the Sydney and North Saanich Ball Facility Liaison Committee. Sydney and North Saanich operate jointly the Rotary Park baseball fields for Peninsula Baseball Association, and we'll appoint Councillor Garnett and Councillor Duck as representatives and myself as the alternate. And then we have 7 liaisons to community partner organizations. And the town generally provides funding to many of these organizations. You'll be familiar with them. The Saanich Peninsula Chamber of Commerce will appoint Councillor Novick to a 1-year term and Councillor O'Keefe as the alternate. The Memorial Park Society, operating as the Mary Winspear Centre in Sydney and the Blue Heron Park in North Saanich, will appoint Councillor Wintoul as to a 1-year term and Councillor Garnett as the alternate. We have the Sydney Museum and Archives Society, and we'll appoint Councillor Garnett to a 1-year term and Councillor Novick as the alternate. The Shaw Centre for the Salish Sea, operating under the name still, the New Marine Centre Society. We appoint Councillor Garnett to a 1-year term and Councillor Novick as the alternate. And we have the Artsea Community Arts Council, and we'll appoint Councillor O'Keefe to a 1-year term and Councillor Duncan as the alternate. And we have the Sydney Business Improvement Area Society, also known as the SBIA. We appoint Councillor Duncan to a 1-year term and Councillor Garnett as the alternate. And lastly, we have the Peninsula Streams and Shoreline Society. And we appoint Councillor Duck to a one-year term and Councillor Duncan as the alternate. And with that, Council, I would look for a motion to approve those appointments.
I'll
So
move
moved.
approval of the appointments as read.
Moved by Councillor Rintoul, seconded by
Second.
Councillor Novak. Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? None opposed. The motion carries. Thank you. I want to take a moment to welcome our member of the Legislative Assembly, Adam Olson, to our meeting this evening. Thank you for attending. We appreciate your work, remarkable work on behalf of our Sydney residents and your constituency at large, and your work on behalf of the province as well. Thank you for attending tonight. I'll note, just after making those appointments, that a number of those bodies that I referenced in announcing the appointments also have citizen representatives, which are appointed by council. And we did post notice over the last few weeks and have received applications, and council will be announcing those citizen appointments at our December 5th council meeting. I'll now turn to item 5B, which is the 2023 schedule of acting mayors and committee of the whole chairs. The Town of Sydney's council procedures bylaw governs how we conduct our council and various committee meetings. One provision in this bylaw calls for the 6 councillors to be appointed on a rotating basis to serve as acting mayor while I am either away or unable to attend. The second provision in the bylaw calls for the 6 councillors to be the chair, to rotate and be the chair of our committee of the whole meetings. I'll now read out the planned acting mayors and committee of the whole chairs appointments and then seek the council motion to approve them. So for the months of January and July, we will appoint Councillor Garnett. For the months of February and August, we appoint Councillor Rintoul. For the months of March and October, we appoint Councillor Duck. For the months of April and September, we appoint Councillor Novak. For the months of May and November, we appoint Councillor Duncan. And for the months of June and December, we appoint Councillor O'Keefe. And I would look to council for a motion. Moved by Councillor Novak and seconded by Councillor Duck. Any discussion? I'll call a question. All in favor? None opposed. The motion carries. Thank you. I'll now turn to the final item on our agenda, number 6, my inaugural address. I actually began my address when welcoming everyone to tonight's meeting after our swearing in, and we thank everyone again for being here. I want to continue and congratulate my 6 councillor colleagues on their election to Sydney Council. I know I speak for all 7 of us when I say it is an immense honor to serve the citizens of our wonderful Sydney community over the next 4 years. We are pleased to have the experience of 4 re-elected councillors, and all are serving their second 4-year term. Councillor Duncan, Councillor Garnett, Councillor O'Keefe, and Councillor Rintoul. And we're very pleased to have 2 newly elected members, Councillor Duck and Councillor Novak. I am impressed with the diverse experience we bring to council, and I look forward to working together for a better Sydney and a better region. I want to thank our 2 former council colleagues, Peter Wainwright, who served 7 terms over 23 years on Sydney Council, and Barbara Fallett, who served 2 terms over 8 years on Sydney Council. We were pleased to acknowledge many highlights from their dedicated service to the community during the last council meeting of the previous term a few weeks ago. Council is a policy-setting body. All the good ideas and input that come from citizens, advisory committees, staff, and councillors, and turned into policy by council resolution, are not a success until they are actioned by our dedicated staff. While many in attendance here tonight may know members of our dedicated town staff, I would like to introduce the senior management team. Randy Humble, our Chief Administrative Officer. Andrew Hissick, our Chief Financial Officer. Sandy Nelson, our Corporate Officer. Jen Clary, our Director of Engineering, Parks, and Public Works. Allison Verhagen, our Senior Manager of Current Planning. Corey Newcomb, our Senior Manager of Long Range Planning. And Brett Mickelson, our Fire Chief. Together, these individuals lead and work as a team with some 90 town staff and nearly 40 volunteer firefighters. I want to again introduce Staff Sergeant Wayne Conley, our Sydney North Saanich RCMP Detachment Commander. The Town of Sydney and District of North Saanich have a contract for RCMP policing in our community, and our detachment has some 30 members providing professional police services to keep our community safe. Too often we are reminded through tragic news stories about the risks our police members and firefighters face in their daily duties. Please join me in thanking our senior team and all town staff, all volunteer firefighters, our RCMP Detachment Commander, and all RCMP members for their professional and dedicated work across a very broad range of essential and other services for the citizens of our community. "2022 saw the town complete the most significant priority in the 4-year strategic plan from the last term, a comprehensive review and community engagement to update our official community plan. With the excellent work of town staff, our consultant, Modus Planning, Design and Engagement, that is their name, involvement from key town advisory committees, and broad community engagement, Council was able to approve steps along the way, carefully and thoroughly review drafts of the plan, which led to a final public hearing and council adoption of the new OCP in June of this year. The OCP is a guiding vision for our community, representing our shared values across many areas. Strengthening our relationship with and respect for the Saanich people, their history, values, and culture. Housing ownership and rental options to ensure a complete community. Climate change adaptation and mitigation. Protection of environmentally sensitive areas. Economic vibrancy and resilience. Culture and recreation. Community infrastructure and public amenities. As we look ahead to the next 4 years and continue efforts to make our community a better place, some of the town priorities are a continuation of work that began last term, or they reasonably follow from the work that was completed. I will give just some of the highlights. Having mentioned the adoption of a new official community plan, a significant priority that flows from that is a review of the town's zoning bylaw. This is a comprehensive review of a technical document that will implement key land use and built form policies contained in the new OCP. Housing development in Sydney will continue to be a high priority. The new OCP brings new and important policies forward regarding how we continue growth in a balanced way and consider further policy to provide housing options for working individuals and families and seniors. Last term, we completed a strategic priority to hire a climate action coordinator and to significantly update and approve our new climate action plan. Along with Council approving a staff recommendation to create a new climate action reserve in the budget, staff will bring forward initiatives from the many recommendations in the plan for Council's consideration. Earlier in 2022, we initiated a strategic priority to develop an active transportation plan. Staff and a consultant will be bringing that forward to Council this fall to review options and initiate a public engagement process likely early in the new year. And based on a recommendation from our citizen-appointed Economic Advisory Committee during the last term, staff and a consultant will be bringing a draft economic development plan with recommendations to Council this fall. Another strategic priority from the last term was a downtown parking study. It is currently underway, and a report and recommendations will also be brought to Council in 2023. A significant infrastructure project planned for 2023 is the Beacon Avenue West Gallerin Road roundabout and the realignment of Sterling Way. This project is a partnership between the Town of Sydney, the District of North Saanich, and the Victoria Airport Authority. The Victoria Airport Authority is the lead on the project, and there is currently an agreement between the parties to each contribute funding to the project. Importantly, the parties are awaiting the decision on a $5 million grant application with the federal government before finalizing financing for the project. We anticipate the project will initiate and complete before the end of 2023. The replacement of the 4th Street public washrooms and a new permanent downtown waterfront washrooms facility are both planned to be completed before next summer. The public will recall that after the Beacon Wharf public engagement held in 2021, Council resolved to maintain the existing wharf as long as is practicable. The leases for the two businesses operating on the wharf were also renewed until the end of 2024. A condition assessment is completed on the wharf every 5 years, and the next assessment is scheduled for 2023, and the results will be brought forward to Council. Staff will be working with a consultant to review and update the town's website to ensure it is fully accessible and user-friendly, which is also planned for completion next year. These strategic initiatives represent just some of the highlights and variety of work completed last term and work carrying on to completion in the early part of this new term. I know the previous council and staff are proud of the significant initiatives completed and initiated during the previous term. Your new council, formally starting its 4-year term this evening, has 2 large tasks ahead. The first is to maintain the usual town business through public council meetings and other meetings associated with our appointments to committees, commissions, and boards. The second large task is to begin the strategic plan process, which will set priorities, allocate limited financial and staff resources, and guide the work of staff for the next 4 years. Council reviews the strategic plan on an annual basis prior to the annual budget process, and the new council has already begun an orientation with senior staff across all departments. There are 2 very important underpinnings to all the work that Council will undertake and consider. We will ensure we provide good governance with an open, respectful, and engaging approach to all municipal business. And we will ensure we provide good fiscal management for the taxes that residents and businesses pay each year. I know my colleagues and I are eager to get underway in this new term, and we look forward to serving our community well over the next 4 years. Thank you. Thank you very much, and I would look for a motion to receive the Mayor's inaugural address.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Before having a motion to adjourn the meeting, I want to thank everyone again for attending this evening. Please enjoy some refreshments, and we're happy to be with you this evening. Thank you again. And I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And moved and seconded by all in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you. Have a good evening.